fronted with. Informal production is not being controlled, it's a regulatory lapse. Density of sales outlet is a regulatory lapse. Promotions that go on because there is a watching festival. They go to the what do you call it, the palace of the king, and then they are sponsoring that particular festival. You can imagine a whole alcoholic beverage industry sponsoring the festival. If you go to Nana in China, that we can allow you to have these people sponsor the festival. How would Nana see you? Okay? Legal drinking age not being enforced, drink driving countermeasures, inadequate social media aided sales is becoming a problem, and the consumption in itself, as it is now. The only consumption regulation that you can have is to make sure that when a person is visibly drunk, don't sell any more alcohol to the person. But who can control it? And who is controlling? Who is controlling? You go to a party, wedding reception, you see all these drinks in the, what do you call it? In a tray or in a crate, and they pass it round. And you see visibly young persons below the age of 18 picking Guinness to drink, and nobody will tell the person or will ask the person at the reception, how old are you? Who asked that? How old are you before? And you remember what happened quite recently in South Africa. I understand some 3 persons have been arrested, and the reason for one of the reasons for the arrest is the fact that they have sold drinks to children underage or the underage persons. Okay, there are other things that they've been charged for, but this is one of them, that they've sold drinks, and then these guys have just finished exams and they want to go and party, and they go into a drinking spot, and then the bar owner refuses to ask their ages and sells to them. They drink, and there's a problem. 21 of them died, young persons. And so alcohol use is a very serious challenge. Finally, we are told in one of the books of Paul, he said, finally, brethren, and he went ahead and wrote 2 more chapters. So I'm not writing 2 more chapters. Finally, brethren. No, the next line. Okay, so I understand we are trying to align, coming up with the LI. And so it is recommended that this new LI should align with the WHO Global Strategy to reduce the harmful use. So let us take a look at the WHO Global Strategy for harmful use of alcohol, and then make sure that as much as possible, all the recommendations that are outlined out there have been captured in a new LI. Other than that, we still leave areas for the industry, as it were, to infiltrate and adopt international best practices, which have yielded some of the best world results. And I always want to refer to the Russian control strategies and resource provision for research and logistics. So if we have scholars here who are researching in this area, they should be supported. Sanctions against violations must be very harsh. If you're a driver and you are found drunk and driving, some 5-year ban or more should be given to you. An enhancement of regulatory practices to counter elusive marketing strategies by the industry. And a school health education program should highlight the potential dangers and risks that alcohol addiction poses to children and adolescents. In my study, one of the observations we made was that one of the persons said, we don't even need a new law. What we need is advocacy and public education. And so when we enhance public education, there's the advocacy. That in itself will help. So that comes to you, LeBron, the civil society organization. Last slide, please. And then, alcohol use among females should be addressed in female reproductive school health programs. Women are increasingly taking to alcohol consumption, and the effect on them increasing. The lower exposure age that I mentioned, the 14 years, happened in the Upper East region. Is that why? Why is Upper West? Yes, in Upper West region. 14 years. One of the studies, I intentionally took out the references because this is some work I'm doing, and I don't want to be taken away from you. Government should take measures to address risk factors that encourage young people to experiment with alcohol at an early age. We have done our best if the FDA, when it comes to school sports festivals and things like that. Alcoholic industries, you know, can imagine Casapreco come to tell us that they want to go and sponsor Colts football. And then the GFA was very happy that Casapreco was coming to their aid. As for them, as far as money is coming in, that's what they are looking for. But as to whether that will be helpful to us as a society or not, people are not considering that. And all the media houses are running after the FDA because someone said just last Saturday, he met me at a wedding ceremony. 50% of his income was coming from alcoholic beverage manufacturers. And the most, then even though you're giving it a window to advertise between 8 and then 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., now some of them are so rich, they are now setting up their own TV stations. They are setting up their own TV stations. So you've given it that window between 8 a.m. and then 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. And they come up with very beautiful programs. And that 30 minutes program, they can play the alcohol advertisement about 15 times. So almost every minute within that 30 minutes break, period, you will see an alcoholic beverage advertisement bombarding you with that message. And so you say it, you say it, you say it, and it hits you. And so when you see a small boy singing, Adongo, yeah, you mentioned it. Famiko, Fade, Ade, Fa. So it means that it's gotten into his head. And the moment he sees Adongo somewhere, he wants to go and try it. So adults, alcohol outlets, and other sources who offer alcohol to underage persons should be held accountable and punished severely. The recent South Africa club case, okay, they have been charged for selling alcohol to underage persons. So, ladies and gentlemen, the situation of alcohol control in Ghana, as I mentioned, there are 3 levels. We have the general framework given by the National Alcohol Policy, and you have the institutional controls, and then the local government level. We've seen the lapses, and we've seen the regulatory challenges. And I believe that as far as the LI is concerned, we will take cognizance of these things and then make sure that we come up with a document that is very responsive to our peculiar situation. Thank you very much.